Begin.
My piece is to choose your own adventure, so when I point to you and ask you a choice between two things, you choose one, and I'll read, okay? Ready? Inspired by his rants against colonialism and cultural appropriation, Kanye West's label decided to send him to Malaysia, the location of one of the most obscure tribes on Earth, and just kind of see what he does. Thus, Project Kanye West was born. It's a working title. Because few outsiders speak the tribal language Samai as well as English, there are two translators, a powerful local woman named Mayavati who translates from Samai to Malay, and you, who translate from Malay to English for Kanye. Kanye has taken Mayavati as his lover. When you arrive to replace the last Malay translator who mysteriously disappeared, she is still nursing their toddler who confronts you with Kanye's signature menacing glower. Because you work so closely with her, and because Kanye's insufferable whims have begun to make her tired, Mayavati has already come on to you. This makes you nervous. Nobody wants Kanye for an enemy. Kanye's current project is an album-cum-reality show recorded among the Semang. In a YouTube interview about the album, Kanye said, "It's all about wetness. Female wetness, the origin of life. Like when you're born and you're covered in the wetness of your mother, and when you die, you dry all out. And the corporations, they want our wetness." When you go to meet him at his luxury hut in the center of the village, he explains more. The first track, "Your Girl's So Wet, She Trying to Jerk Me," it's all about neocolonialism and corporate greed. He says, trying on several large rings on a tray held by his young Semang servant woman. Mantaguma, the Semang headman, nods from his Eames chair in the background, sucks on an artisan cocktail. Sometimes Kanye bounces ideas off of you. One morning he turns to you while you're picking berries together. The sky is storm yellow. You're nervous he's suspicious of you and Mayavati. But he says, "I just made brilliance using my brain." First music video, Semang women in graduation caps, body paint, and feathers. I spray them with fire hoses. It's like women can be educated, right? But also sexual. You're at an impasse. On one hand, his strengths do not include graceful acceptance of criticism, and the other day you saw him dismember a cameraman just for suggesting the video for Mercy was kind of racist. On the other hand, soaking native women with water, or native women from another culture with water, spring break style, is a fucking terrible idea. Do you, 1, smile, tell him you think that this is a brilliant take on the exploitative nature of the patriarchy, in other words, save your own ass, or 2, risk bodily injury and suggest an idea that will cause less backlash? 2? I heard 2. Kanye isn't even listening to you. Actually, this one had the same outcome no matter what you picked. He has moved on and is telling you that the locals think he's a jungle god because of his many extravagant furs. They've never seen people take off their skins before, he says. Later, Mayavati tells you that actually nobody thinks he's a god. The Semang thinks he's ugly and eats weird soft food. Drunk with hubris, Kanye has taken to calling Mayavati La Malinche and La Llorona. The senile headman, Mangtaguma, seems to be the only one convinced of Kanye's deity. They brunch often, and Kanye's bringing him on as a guest rapper on one track. La Malinche, Kanye barks at Mayavati. Ask him how to say "one more fuck and I can own ya" in Samai. Record it so that I can sample it on a track about how my celebrity makes me feel disadvantaged. Nearby, the costume designer is spraying fake sweat on already sweating locals for a video shoot. You find out on Twitter that actually the record label has pulled funding for the project and ordered Kanye to send everyone home immediately because of the political unrest his presence in Malaysia is causing. You ask Kanye about it and he just looks at you expressionless and plays the track "I Am a God" from his 2013 album of messianic delusion, Jesus. You sense he's begun to believe his own claims that he is a jungle god. Maybe he always did. Do you, 1, try to escape under cover of night? This guy is nuts. Or 2, stick around because maybe it will be fun?
2. Oh, mistakes!
All right. Kanye declares himself Viceroy of Malaysia. He dubs you High Priest and insists you go around baptizing things. You carry around a super soaker and yell, "Stick 'em up." The Semang children open their mouths and you squirt water into them. Their parents whisk them away, glowering. There are whispers of an uprising. When Kanye ignores their orders, the record label sends someone to arrest him for breach of contract, fraud, and theft of $100,000 worth of film equipment. When they arrive, the typhoon's heavy, hot rains have started. You and Mayavati are sitting close on the floor of her hut, for shelter and also to ease your terror, when you hear yelling outside. You scramble out of the hut to see Kanye standing over a lifeless federal agent in the rain and blood-soaked soil. He looks up at you, smiles, and wipes some of the blood from his mouth with his sleeve. He pockets the rest of the organ he had been gnawing on. Do you, 1, pretend everything is okay, keep cool and plot your escape later? Or 2, run. Run as fast as you can away from his dead eyes and over-whitened, though now considerably redder, teeth.
2.
You run as fast as you can to the edge of town. And that night you meet with Mayavati under cover of darkness. She tells you that the Semang have seen Americans in suits and dark glasses on the edge of the village. Mantaguma was killed while addressing the townspeople, a rock to his head. Nobody knows if it was a Semang, a federal agent, or Kanye himself. And the Semai are starting to get sick with American illnesses. Existential terror begins to seep into every tissue of your body like a fine scotch or an old friend. You see lights, a helicopter. Kanye airlifted to safety as the world roils below him. Later, the Wet album, as it's renamed, will generate millions in revenue because there is no justice in the world. But in this moment, you're reminded of a line from Keats, like stout Kanye with eagle eyes. He stares.
There is no justice in the world! 7 minutes means 7 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, and that is the way the wet cookie crumbles. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause.